Alrighty, YouTube. Welcome to the Golden Gate Sports Podcast. We're back again after a long absence. Currently we're at the bye week for the 49ers, and we're actually looking pretty good. We are 9-4 as we head into the bye week, or as we're coming out of the bye week. It is currently week 15, Titans week. This last four stretch game is going to be very important for the Niners and their playoff chances. I think right now they're at like a 92% chance of making it. So without further ado, let's dive in. So I just want to mention this website I've created. You guys can go ahead and check it out. At I'll put the links right here. Golden Gate Sports co.wixsite.com Golden Gate Sports. Check it out. I've updated every week. So right now it's still not updated. I'll be updating that after I get done with this video. But as it sits right now, the 49ers are currently at 9-4, which has been really, really unexpected. Um, no one would have expected us to be in this kind of a race with the NFC here. I'll look highlighted down here. NFC West, Rams are on top. Right now they are 10-3 with a win streak of 1. Seahawks are also 10-3 with a win streak of 3 now. Niners are still 9-4 with a win streak of 3, and the Cardinals have officially been eliminated as of last week. So, 49ers are looking really good right now, and yeah, honestly, I feel like if the Niners can win out, all we need to do right now is see the Rams lose, and then the Seahawks lose one, and then, or not even the Seahawks have to lose. We need the Rams to lose one and the Packers to lose one. And then the Niners will be facing the Seahawks in Week 18 for the number one seed. We can actually go over some predictions right now. We're going to use the ESPN playoff predictor machine. Let's go ahead and use it. So this is like one of my favorite predictors to use just for scenarios and stuff. So also we did see the Chargers beat the Eagles last night, which is going to be huge when it comes to seeding. Um, so let's just say we got the Niners winning out, right? And then we'll predict all these other games. Or we'll wait to predict this one for now. So let's just go through, predict a couple of these games. We'll say the Seahawks end up winning theirs. Broncos, Bengals, Jags, Chiefs. We'll just keep going through and clicking a couple of these. Sorry, we're just gonna click on through this. That way it's just predicted for us at this point. Alrighty. So taking a look at this, all we need to do is have the Rams lose one of their games, and then we need the Packers to lose one more. Last week we did have a chance at controlling our own destiny in a tiny bit of a way. Um, if the Rams and the Seahawks had lost, we can actually go back to my website here for that. If the Rams and the Seahawks had lost, we would have been the fifth seed right there. If they had both lost, we would have been the two seed. And if the Packers had lost to the Bears, that Week 17 matchup against the Bears matters a lot more than it would have if the Packers had won it, which they did. It can still come down to that game, Week 17, for a potential first seed. As long as the Bears beat the Packers when it comes back around, because I think they play in 2 weeks. So yeah, we still have a shot at that. But now the Rams are still on top. Seahawks are at the fifth seed. We are currently at the sixth seed as of now. So that was huge this bye week. It allowed us to move up in the playoffs a spot. So yeah, helped us out. Um, when it comes to potential scenarios, if this thing will go out of my way, I think it will. So we're just gonna put that down there. So this is what I could see happening this week. I think the Lions have a really good shot at catching the Rams at a bad time. I think the Lions are actually playing for something now because they are currently projected to be out of the playoffs with the way the Packers and the Bears have been playing. So I feel like that's a I feel like this could definitely happen with the Lions winning. Packers, I definitely can see losing to the Broncos. Packers run defense is not as good right now, especially because they traded away Kenny Clark to the Cowboys. So um like they're up the I think it's up the middle is where they've been the weakest against the run. On the outside they've been okay. Micah Parsons is not a run defender, so if I were the Broncos, forget about the pass game. Run the ball down the Packers' throats. Something the Bears could not do because to be quite honest with you, I don't believe that rush attack is as good as people are saying it is. But I definitely think the Broncos have a better shot with their run game. So I feel Broncos definitely can beat the Packers as long as they run that ball. Seahawks probably going to end up beating the Colts. Recent injury to Daniel Jones has shifted everything. Colts playoff or chances, according to a clip I heard from Larry Kruger's podcast, swap from negative 250 odds to make the playoffs to positive 250 odds. So it's like their odds have just flipped on their head. So Seahawks probably will end up winning that game. I also heard that the Colts will be signing Philip Rivers, and I think yeah, that just happened. Philip Rivers to the Colts. So not sure how that's going to go, but we shall see. We also do play the Colts. I think week 16, so right at yeah, it's on Monday Night Football right after this Titans week. Um, Forget about the AFC. So with the let's see here. With these two wins, the Seahawks end up winning, the Rams end up losing. Let's just force ties for the NFC West right now. Actually, I'll reset this now. We can actually look at this thing. Niners win, Lions, Seahawks, right? So that means the Seahawks would still be on top of the division, which is actually a lot better for us because we do end up controlling our own destiny with that. Um, and then we say the Packers lose, so that's another huge one. Packers end up losing, big trouble for them because now they're both 9-4. It makes the Seahawks on top of what on whoever now. So now we move into this week, another huge week. Rams, Seattle. Rams could probably lose one and then end up winning out. I think that's how that would work. Excuse me, work. We need probably the Bears to win that, and then we can move on to the next week. Pretty sure that's how. Yep. To move on to the next week from that. Um, we need to win against the Chicago Bears, and we need the Seattle Seahawks to beat Carolina. So we do in fact need the Seahawks to win against the Rams, no matter what, right now. That is going to be a huge week Week 16, we're all going to become Seattle fans. That's how that's going to play out. Um, that's best case scenario for us is Seattle beats the Rams during that Week 16 matchup in Seattle. So we need the Seahawks to win. Otherwise, we're going to have to rely on the Falcons or the Cardinals potentially beating them, which is not ideal. Um, Coming down to this final week, this will be for the first seed. Where have we heard that before? 2019, Dre Greenlaw gets the stop on the goal line to make the Niners the number one seed and win the division. Coming back to play us again. Week 18, big week for the division, for everything. One seed, playoffs. Niners have the Super Bowl at home, so it's like they go on a stretch of just straight up home games if they get that first seed. They also get a bye week, so they get 3 straight games at home after that bye week, as long as they win. What more do you want? And then we probably see the Bears. We can predict the rest of these if we want. Bills, Jags, Bengals, Chargers. How nice is it that we don't have Kansas City in the playoffs, guys? That is absolutely amazing. Eagles, probably. Assuming the Commanders will probably win in week 16. Cowboys, Lions, Chiefs. So yeah, basically what the whole point of this was just to show you that San Francisco does ultimately control their own destiny as long as these couple things happen over the next couple weeks, which is we need the Rams to lose twice in a row. We need them to lose to the Lions. We need to lose to Seattle. Just give me 1 second, guys. But if those things do end up happening, the Niners do end up getting the 1 seed, which would be absolutely amazing despite all the injuries we've had. Exactly what you want to see from San Francisco. If they can get that once, I mean, they are one of the most physical team. I think they are the most physical team in the NFL. And when you face teams like Philadelphia, they are not going to be as physical as you because they don't have they do not. They're falling apart right now. Philadelphia's air game. Let's just look at it. Look at the stats. We're getting these from ESPN, by the way. Let's see. Can we look at their recent game? Here we go. We can look at this one. No, that's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. So let's take a look. Jalen Hurts for the first time, I think what it said was since 1979, the first QB to turn over a ball and turn it over again in the same play. Threw 4 interceptions, had a fumble at the same time. He would have had a better QBR from this is from ML Sports if he had spiked the ball into the ground on every play. Yeah, that's how bad this game was for him. Saquon Barkley, I think, finally had a good game this year. 20 carries, 122 rush yards, and a touchdown. And then AJ Brown looks like he only wants to catch the ball at this point. I don't really know what's going on with that. Um, but the Chargers end up getting the victory in overtime, despite all their injuries. They don't even have an offensive line, and the Eagles were not able to really get home. I see 2.5 sacks here, but that was their leading sacker. It doesn't look like it was. It looked like a sloppy game from both sides. Herbert threw a pick, didn't have too many completions. I think that's under. Yeah, that's under 50%. Jalen Hurts is just above 50%. Um, when Justin Herbert led the team in rush yards, which is insane. Um, Vidal led in receiving yards. Interesting. And then we had Odafe with sack. So honestly, Chargers probably didn't deserve that win. But in all honesty, Jalen Hurts let the game go. And a lot of people were talking about how Brock Purdy turned over the ball back in I think it was week 13. No. No, week 12. Week 12 against the who were we playing? Week 12. Look back. Uh, who were we just playing, guys? I am having a brain fart at the moment. Give me 1 second to find that information out. Just take a look. Yeah, where we just played the Panthers. He came off a touchdown intercept and three interception game. Just did not play too well. And obviously fans were not happy with that. A lot of sports reporters, which this is just outrageous to me, are gonna tell us that Brock Purdy should be benched. They never should have brought him back, and they should just stick with Mac Jones. Let me go to my article and just tell, like, you guys can read this for yourself later on and just tell me what you think. Um, but I made an article about it, QB controversy in the Bay. Like, I get it. Like, Purdy did not have a good game. Look at this. Look at that stat line. Not very good, right? But the previous game had a stat line like this. Again, against the Cardinals, Panthers are a potential playoff team right now. But it's like it was only his second week back from the injury, right? He come back a little bit before, but now he's had a 8 week absence, or he hasn't practiced as much, and they expected him just to come back and dominate like he usually does. No, no, he's gonna put up a dud at some point, right? And that game was the dud. Right now he only has 8 touchdowns and 7 picks, but he's only played in 4 games. I'll have to update the statistics. I'll create another article for that. Meanwhile, they've been talking about Mac Jones. He had 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in the 9 games he played. Um, but Brock has been to a Super Bowl. He has a stat line over the last 3 years to prove it, and he's proven he's at least a top 15 QB. Along with all those accolades, you add the rushing attack that he adds, the rushing element to his play. He's a better QB than Brock, or he's a better QB than Mac Jones. And do you think that you want Mac Jones in the Super Bowl, just standing in the pocket, no scramble ability whatsoever, to take a bunch of hits, not be able to get out of the pocket if the pass rush does get home? You don't want that. You don't want that. Brock came on. I thought it may just be because of the injury. But he says it's just the execution of throwing the ball a little bit better. Um, so that does not have anything. I guess the injury he's saying does not have anything to do with it. I don't believe that's true. I think the injury does have a little bit to do with it. I'm sure he's trying to readjust back from that, and time will only tell what his injuries doing to him. So, but at the end of the article, I said there is no QB controversy. They paid Purdy $53 million to be their starting QB, which, by the way, my uncle and I predicted way before it even happened. We predicted like in the range of 50 to 54, and I said spot on 53 is probably what it's going to be over 4 years. Exactly what he got paid. Um, it's like people want to see Purdy fail, but when these other QBs, such as Jalen Hurts, wish I could go back to that, such as Jalen Hurts, it's like, why are you wanting someone else to fail? But whenever another, like, you talk so much crap about this one QB who had a bad game, but when this other QB has bad game, you don't want to talk about him. How about Patrick Mahomes against the Texans a couple nights ago? on or sorry, not a couple nights ago, on Sunday Night Football. He threw two picks against one of the best defenses in the league, but Mac Jones, or sorry, Mac Jones threw two touchdowns and a pick. But they said they don't talk anything about Patrick Mahomes at all. Why not? Josh Allen. I think combined, Josh Allen and Mahomes threw. I think that's what it was. Seven interceptions, no touchdowns, which is absurd. It's absurd. And then they want to talk about Purdy because he's doing terrible right now. He's only played in 5 games. Like, give him a chance, guys. Come on. Um, we talked about the schedule, and we talked about the Purdy slander again. Like, what's new, guys? Let's talk about some of these upcoming matchups. I guess, yeah, we'll do that. So right now, Niners are on deck to face the Titans, and I thought it was at 1 o'clock, but they moved it to 4:25. Right? No, they probably didn't move it. I thought it was at 1 o'clock, but I guess it's at 4:25. And Niners currently projected 82.9% chance to win it. Um, Brock Purdy's probably gonna be QB, probably. Um, but yeah, I think the Niners should be able to win this. I told my dad earlier this week that I believe that this could be a potential upset just because of the record of Tennessee. Then again, they are coming off a win against the Browns, so maybe they're not too mad at the league anymore, and they'll take a little bit easier on us. But no, Niners should be able to win this, no doubt. Next up, you got the Colts at the Colts on Monday Night Football. And with that Daniel Jones injury, their chances have dropped dramatically. Now, Colts just signed Philip Rivers. I think Riley Leonard's dealing with a knee injury as of right now. So, assuming that Riley Leonard's healthy, we'll have, excuse me, two QBs to choose from about playing. Philip Rivers or Riley Leonard. Which would you rather play? I think Krug just said it earlier. He'd rather play Philip Rivers, and I understand wanting to play someone that's a little bit older, not as mobile, probably doesn't know what it's like to be sacked after a while. I understand that. The thing I would be nervous for about both QBs, and this is something the Niners have not done well with, is when QBs are able to process fast and just get the ball out of their hands, or when QBs are able to run around. Philip Rivers, at his age, is going to be slinging that ball out of his hands as fast as he can. He is not going to hold on to that ball. Riley Leonard, not as great as a passer probably as Philip Rivers would be right now, but still able to run with his legs. The Niners are going to have to find some type of way to contain that, which they have not been great at, according like from recent years. Um, I think we've lost to Lamar Jackson 3 times since 2019. Yeah, it's not been good against these Russian quarterbacks at all. It's hard for us to contain them. Russell Wilson, for example, Geno Smith, we don't do good against them. Um, Another thing I wanted to talk about on, I guess now, I think well, let me get to this first. I think the Niners can win this matchup, but it's really gonna depend on how that defense plays. Offense, I'm sure will be able to score their points, but probably not as many as I'd say they probably won't get over 23. If they get over 23, cool. I don't think they'll get over 23 with this defense. That defense is pretty good. But our defense should be able to stop that rookie QB or that old man no matter what happens. 44-year-old Philip Rivers should not be a problem for us. Riley Leonard maybe could be a problem depending on how good he is at passing. We'll have to see about that. I do think the Niners can win this game, though. They should be able to win this game. Next up is the Bears. Big matchup. You see these records? 9-4, 9-4. Or at least we're at home for this game, but Chicago has been on fire recently, just because of snow and stuff like that. It's that winter time of year we start to see what teams are made of. I don't know if the Bears can keep up with our scoring, but they are definitely going to be able to get their handful of sacks on the defensive side. They're going to get pressure on Brock, and I hope that our O line is going to be ready for it. But we should be able to win this game. I think we can win it, honestly. That's what I'm thinking right now. Niners, this is Sunday Night Football. Should be able to win against this Bears team. Um, with that banged up secondary as well. Look at their injuries. Stevenson, their cornerback, and Kyler Gordon, I think that's their third one, are going to be out. And then we'll have all these guys back: Pinheiro, Samuel Okumanu, and Tatum Bethune. Barch, I think, went on IR. He's probably out for the rest of the year. Uh, yeah, Niners should be able to win this game. And then you got the Seahawks. Biggest matchup of the year, most likely. Probably for the division if all the matchups that we want go according to plan. Who knows? This is a toss up game. I want to say we're gonna win it, but I cannot be like definite on that. Seahawks are 6-1 away. I don't know who they've played away, but they're doing really good at it. We're 3-2 at home right now. We haven't had as many home games this year. Um, or at like we're gonna get all our home games towards the end here. I think we go on a 3-game home stretch against the Colts. No, wait. We played the Titans at home, Colts away. So we do have 3 games left at home. So that'll even out eventually. I don't know, guys. Seahawks is going to be a hard one. I think it could come down to the wire. We can definitely get smoked in it. Don't get me wrong. Our defense needs to be on top of things, but I think as long as the Niners are going to be able to run that ball and be able to rely on our defense to get some pressure, Cleveland Farrell being our leading sack leader, I feel like we can probably win the game. It's going to be hard. Toss up game for us, honestly. That's how I'm feeling about that. I want to see what it comes down to. Um, and then he head into the playoffs, hopefully as the 1 seed, and yeah, that's that. So, alrighty, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here, but I appreciate you guys for listening to the podcast. Please go check out my website if you would like. I'm gonna try and make articles every single week as well as updating the schedule and stuff that we do. Um, other than that, I hope you guys all have a great day and peace out.